Whichever way you look at it, the picture is the same. Our prisons are under pressure. Many of them have reached capacity. Free spaces are sparse.
We must do whatever it takes to ensure that there are always enough prison places to lock up the most dangerous offenders.
Which is what led to this last autumn, as the government announced plans to free up space and release certain offenders up to 18 days before the end of their sentence.
And let me be clear that this is a temporary operational measure to relieve immediate pressure.
But now Sky News can reveal that temporary scheme has been quietly evolving. In documents sent from the government to prisons and shared with Sky News, they talk of a scheme that's needed to create essential prison capacity. They say it's critical that it operates quickly. And while it was originally instructed to last for a specific period, that later changed to be activated for an undefined period, revised and updated to support activation in new prisons. Ian Lawrence is the General Secretary of NAPO, which represents probation workers. Do you believe and see it to be a temporary scheme?
No, I think the way things are now, all the mood music coming my way is we're going to see this for quite some time to come. I mean, last week I was told there was something like just 400 beds available in the prison estate. It's a huge worry for members in how they're going to deal with it.
So pressure on probation to release prisoners early. But Ian says his members fear for public safety if the right protocols aren't in place on release. What are they worried about?
People dying, people suffering. Are they going to be near any previous victims of their crimes, for example? So those checks and balances need to be in place, and the currency of probation really is risk.
The government say this is a measure to release eligible prisoners a couple of weeks or so earlier than they would have otherwise. But people close to this scheme have told me that in some cases that means speeding up a risk management process which needs meticulous attention. It could mean cutting corners when it comes to things like finding suitable accommodation for that prisoner weeks earlier than planned. And that, they say, could become dangerous. An early release prison scheme has been used before, in 2007 under a Labour government. There were problems then, and now Labour are calling for the government to be clear about the terms.
It is not a surprise to me, given the scale of the government's prisons capacity crisis, that they have extended this scheme. But at the very least, they should acknowledge that the public has a right to know about the details of this scheme, and Parliament has a right to know.
In a statement, a Ministry of Justice spokesperson said, the terms of the end of custody supervised licence scheme have not changed since it was announced in October. It is temporary and only used to relieve pressure in prisons where necessary. Only offenders who are a matter of days away from release are being considered, and anyone convicted of a sexual, terrorist or serious violent offence is excluded, with those who break the rules facing a return to jail. What's clear is that while they say this scheme is officially temporary, it is quietly evolving to meet the need of a prison service that is struggling. And there is no end date in sight. Molly Malone, Sky News.